Hey guys, well it's been a minute. I guess we should give you a little update on what's going on. The Project Camaro, which I think we've kind of all dubbed Spicy Pete, has not really been, we haven't done too much. Actually, I've been working on the garage trying to get a little shed built so we can put the bug in, so we can actually get this thing into the shop and actually start working on the insides of it. But I got the engine bay all, well, mostly stripped out. I got the heater stuff all out of that. But I figured, you know, maybe we should do we haven't done a proper video on the truck yet, so that's maybe what we're gonna do today. So basically, this is our 1974 GMC 1500, which is, I guess, the regular Chevy C10 square body style. Was originally a super custom big block, had a 454 in it. When I bought it, it had a 305 and a Muncie SM465 4-speed manual transmission in it. I mean, it was a pretty good, we use it for towing the race trailer to the racetrack. We do some motorcycle racing here, and it's a pretty good unit. But over the winter, kind of, we've been messing with it. Hang on here. Pardon the dirt at the moment. So, story on the motor is basically iron block 5.3. I've got flat top pistons in it. Basically 4.8 pistons, but they're Speed Pro, just hyper eutectic, I think, pistons. Basically the cheapest I could get on Summit, but they're flat tops with 862 heads. We're like 10.5-ish to 1 compression, so, you know, fair bit of compression. We've flowed the cylinder heads a little bit just with a grinder, ported them, and like, it doesn't have too spicy of a cam. It's got kind of like it's got a Thule stage 4 truck cam, and like the intake manifold is TBSS, sort of on some of the newer trucks. They have this is kind of the best manifold that you can get for a stock truck, and obviously we've got like lots of room in the engine bay to hold something like that, so without spending a pile of money, it's pretty good. And it's got 36-pound injectors, which is all stuff you can find. We've got a junkyard like pretty close to here, like within a few miles, so you can usually find a lot of that stuff pretty easily. And, you know, I pulled the water pump and like a bunch of that stuff out of the junkyard. And those headers are Speed Engineering. They're actually really good. Like, they fit really nice in there, and they're all TIG weld and stuff. Like, you know, for a cheap header, like those are, I think they're right around 500 bucks Canadian, like pretty much landed. So for a full stainless header, like, it's pretty good around here. And actually, like, the best part of this whole thing is the inside, and I'm going to show you that. So that's what I'm talking about. We've got a TR6060 Tremec 6-speed out of I think it's an out of a 2011 Camaro. Basically, it's a T56 Magnum internals, and auto meters, because race car. I mean, you could have put a full 60-inch flat screen in here for less money, but look at those things. They're just the best. But that 6-speed is really, really good. It's you know, short ratio, and with this motor, it's just unbelievable. We've got a ACT twin disc clutch, basically a friggin' drift car clutch, and it revs so fast that the downshifts are just super quick. The problem with the twin disc is that towing the trailer, it's a little spicy. It does want to stall quite a bit. Got 10-inch wide arrows in the back, 8.5 up front. We got a 275 rear tire. It's geared pretty much perfect to fit in the fender. Like you've got quite a bit of meat. It's just like a stock 12 bolt in the back, but like the fitment of the wheel is just about right. Problem right now is that it's got an open diff, and I think they're 308s for gears, so it's pretty tall. Like I'm using 3rd gear, 4th gear most of the time, and that's about it. You can use 5th on the highway, but we got a whole other gear there, so I got to shorten that up, and so it's a little bit more usable. But we should probably go for a drive. Of course, you can't go anywhere without a dog with you. I don't know if it has to do with the bench seat. You're probably not seeing anything of me, but unfortunately, you can't go anywhere with a dog. So I got this. I made a thing for the Terminator X screen, just where the cigarette, because obviously we're not smokers, and then you've got the plug-in for so you can run a laptop right to it there. But it's quite a setup. So basically, we've got a pretty good, I don't know if I talked about the Terminator X system. We've got a Holly Terminator X for the LS, which is like basically $1,000, a little bit over $1,000, and it runs everything. You can plug your computer into it. It runs all of the EFI setup for the injectors. It runs the coils. It comes with everything. So it's, you know, when you price up what it costs to do a carburetor and an intake and the stuff to run the coils for an LS, if you wanted to do it carbureted, like, it's cheaper really to buy a Terminator X, or at least it was, and you can just plug your laptop in, and you know, it's pretty easy to learn all the setup. You plug it in and it learns kind of everything you need. It's got an O2 sensor, and it figures out how to do the, you know, all of the fueling and stuff. Now you do have to have a little bit of input, like you put, we struggled a little bit with how to get it to stop stalling, but recently we've adjusted IAC settings, which is the idle air control settings, to figure out how to get it to stop stalling. And you know, when you let off the throttle at like 2,000 RPM, it would just drop. But until recently, we've got that pretty sorted. So no, it works really, really good. I would suggest going EFI. I mean, we use it. You know, it takes a little bit of the character out of the engine. Like, it's quite smooth now, but for, you know, usability, it's really, really good. Those downshifts are just unbelievably good. So that's it. I guess I never really talked about how low it is. It's just basically a flip, like put the axle on top of the leaves in the rear, and the front is a Beltec spring, and I think it's got drop spindles on it, like maybe a 1.5 or 2 inch drop spindle. But it sits pretty good. It was a little bit lower. It had with the 305 and the iron heads and stuff, it was a little bit lower in the front. So the LS with the aluminum heads and stuff, it's a little bit lighter than a 305. So it was a little bit, it ended up being a little bit higher up than, I guess I'd like it maybe a little bit lower, but I think it has the right stance, you know? What do you guys think? Kind of interesting, right? I guess we'll leave it there and see you again. Thanks for checking it out.